A very happy morning to all of you children. Welcome to the science class after the exams. I hope you all are in pink of your health. Children, today we will be starting a new chapter. That's chapter number 7, the cell. So in this chapter we will be talking about the cell, which is the basic unit of life. So have you all wondered that in our body different functions are going on? How does our body develops? Children, our body develops from a single basic unit called as the cell. Let's take an example. We all have seen a house being structured or how a house is being made, right? So, what is the basic unit that is being used there to do the construction? The house is constructed with the help of the brick. Yeah, हम bricks लगाते हैं एक के ऊपर एक and that's how the house is built up. So यहाँ पे basic unit of the house is the brick. Similarly, in our body, the basic unit that help us to develop into an organism is the cell. So how do we define cell? The cell can be defined as the basic unit of structure and function of an organism. Actually, it is the smallest subdivision of the organism which has a definite structure and performs different functions of life. A cell shows all the characteristics of a living thing like respiration, nutrition, reproduction, and response to the stimuli. All the living organisms are made up of one or more than one cells. Yes, children. So the study of the science that deals with the study of the science that deals with the study of cells in particular, their structures and functions, is called as cytology. It is also called as cell biology. So the branch of science that deals with the study of the structure of cells is called structure and functions of the cell is called as cytology. Some of the examples of cells include amoeba, bacteria, nerve cells, RBCs जिन्हें हम red blood cells भी कहते हैं. So these are some common examples of the cell. Children, anytime did you all think that who discovered the cells? Who was the genius person behind the discovery of the cell? It was Robert Hooke, an English scientist who was studying the bark of the tree in the year 1665. He observed that in the bark of the tree, in the layer of the cork, there were compartment-like structures. So he observed these compartment-like structures under a microscope. And he came to the conclusion that he could see some compartment-like structure. They were looking like honeycomb. And he named these compartment-like structures as cells. However, children, the cells that Robert Hooke discovered were the dead cells. So the first time that cells were discovered by Robert Hooke. Robert Hooke has mentioned regarding his discovery in the book called Micrographia. So the tiny boxes compartment or the tiny compartment-like structure also appeared like honeycomb. For this reason, the structure seen by Hooke was called as honeycomb structure. Then later on, the live cells were discovered by Antonio von Leeuwenhoek. So that was about the discovery of the cell. So how do we go ahead and develop into from a single cell? We all know the last chapter we have studied about reproduction, where we studied that sperm fuses with the egg, it forms a zygote. Yeah, and then zygote undergoes multiple divisions to form the body, right? So वो single cell से it develops into a body, right? So, have you all thought that how does the different organ or a complete body develops? That is because of the organization of the cells, children, in our body. Yeah, we also call it as the hierarchy of organization in the body or organization in the living organisms. Now, here the cells form the basic unit to develop the body. Cells usually group together to make tissues, and then tissues come together to form organs, organ systems, and finally organisms. Here we can see the pyramid where the cells are the basic unit of the body, yeah, of the living organisms. Now cells that have common structure and function, they form a group called as tissues. Tissues are nothing but a group of cells that have same size, shape and functions. Here children, the study of the tissues is known as histology. Yes, now when the tissues are formed, now the tissues form the next level of the organization, that is organ. An organ is a structure that contains more than one type of tissues. Do we all know the examples of some organs? Like heart, brain. Yeah, these are some of the examples of our organs. Then from the organs develops the organ system. We all know that we all have actually studied the different type of organ systems. Yes, like digestive systems, respiratory system, circulatory system. These are different organ systems. So our organs come together, and those organs that have similar function, they come together and form the different organ system. Like in our digestive system we have mouth, food pipe, stomach and intestines. So these are different organs that form the organ system, that is digestive system. Yes, now these organ systems work properly, function together and form the organism. Yes, so this is how the organization of the living organisms takes place. We can see here that cell results in the formation of tissue, tissues develop into organs, and then the organ system which results in the formation of an organism that has multiple cells. That's multicellular. Yes, children? Now cells show variation is there in their cell number, shape and size. So we will now study something about variety in the cell number, shape and size. When we talk about the cell number, we can say that based upon the number of cells, the cells can be divided into two types, that is unicellular and multicellular. The organisms that are actually made up only one cell, they are called as unicellular organisms. Uni here means one and cellular means cell. Some examples of unicellular organisms are amoeba, bacteria, yeast, paramecium. And when we say multicellular, as the name suggests, multi matlab many, yeah, it has many number of cells present in them. So the organism which are made up of more than one cell, they are called as multicellular organisms. The best example, we the human being, we are made up of multiple cells, yes. Similarly, plants, cat, dogs, trees are the example of multicellular organisms. Here we can see the picture of the amoeba and yeast, which are actually the unicellular organisms. And then we have plant, cat and human being as the example of multicellular organisms. So that is about the classification of cell based upon the cell numbers. The next topic that we have is cell shape. The cells occur in different shapes, and these shapes are related to their specific functions that they have to perform. For example, here in the picture we can see different kind of cells. We see white blood cells, ciliated cells. Then we also have the picture of nerve cell, egg cell, red blood cells. So the cells have different shapes. For example, the cell that are actually irregular in shape, we know that amoeba, which is unicellular organism, is irregular in shape. Then the egg cell here, do we see the egg cell? Yeah, it is round in shape. Then our muscle cells are spindle shaped, that are elongated and pointed. Also, we see the nerve cells. Nerve cells are part of the nervous system. They are elongated, thin, and branched. Yes, so the cells have different shapes here. Now we can go through the different cells and their functions that they perform. The shape of the cell is actually related with the shape of the cell. So let's talk about the amoeba first. Amoeba is irregular in shape. As we see here, it has irregular shape with projections on its body. These projections are called as pseudopodia or false feet. These projections, pseudopodia, help to move easily on any side, also helps to catch or catching in its prey. The next cell that we have is nerve cell. Yes, so nerve cell, as I mentioned, is the part of the nervous system. It is very long and branch shaped with thin thread-like projections that help to send messages over long distances in the body. We also have red blood cells. Here we can see the red blood cell, which is biconcave disc shape that provides more surface area for absorbing oxygen. Then the last cell that we have is mesophyll cell. Children, mesophyll cell is the part of the leaf. हमने जो लीफ देखा है, लीफ में mesophyll cells present होती हैं. And these are long, elongated shape that allows for more chloroplast to be present inside the cell and helps in which process? Photosynthesis, right? So these were the different shapes of the cells. That is also related with their function. Also, cells shows different sizes. Cell sizes may be as small as a millionth of a meter or as large as a few centimeters. Do we all know the largest cell? An ostrich egg. We all know that the ostrich egg is the biggest egg. An ostrich egg is measuring about 170 mm by 130 mm is the largest cell, whereas the smallest cell is a mycoplasma. Mycoplasma is a bacteria, and in the human body, the smallest cell is sperm. All right, children. So that is about the size of the cell.